Um, okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. So, yeah, I was just talking about my mental health problems. So, and I've had enough therapy to know that this is all my parents' fault. Of course, my parents were good parents. I mean, I should say they are good parents. Like, I don't know why I'm using the past tense. Yeah, it's kind of misleading to say that they were good parents because they were assholes, actually. Back when it mattered for me. But like many people, they ripened with age, not unlike an aromatic, codependent Russian Jewish cheese. Now, my mom is in her 60s, and she doesn't even realize how unhappy she was back when I was a child. She does not even remember a little speech that she gave me, which is like seared into my memory once. We were driving on the highway. She had just turned 40, and I was 9. And she turned to me and she was just like, I'm 40 now, and my life is probably halfway over. And I don't even know if I've done anything worth doing. Like, is there anything meaningful that I've produced or, created in half my life? She kind of looks at me. I don't think so. And I just remember thinking, throughout my childhood, like, surely if I do all the dishes, if I get perfect grades, and I marry a nice Canadian boy, then mommy will be happy, And I really tried. Like, I just put so much, pressure on myself. And now that I'm a mom, myself, I have 2 young kids, I see that this false belief is so useful for parents. Like, they just get perfect children. So now I always try to sigh all the time. I never smile. I just look very, defeated. And I try to, as much as I can, I shift the responsibility for my crappy mood onto my children. It's fine. They can get their unconditional love from grandma, just like I do. So I've been learning about mindsets, and what I've learned is I have all the worst mindsets. So, for example, there's growth versus fixed. Maybe you've heard of this one, so like growth mindset, that's when you're willing to take risks because you treat every challenge like a valuable opportunity for growth and learning. That's like laughable. Obviously, every risk is an opportunity to fail, and failure is forever, and it makes you unlovable to your real daddy and all of your, projected daddies. And then the abundance versus the scarcity mindset, that's when you're not in a rush or you're not threatened by other success because there's enough to go around. No, there isn't enough to go around. Like, if I watch a great comedian, I hate them and myself because their greatness by comparison makes me an unlovable piece of crap, especially if it's a hot chick. But sometimes I watch someone who's maybe just starting out or just not really my style of comedy, and I don't think their jokes are that funny. I'm not really laughing. I'm like, nice. I can do this. I can be a little funnier than that guy. And I told my friend Annalisa, who happens to be here with us today, and she goes, sure you can, Masha. You can be funnier. And I was like, that was so sweet because I was so moved. Annalisa believes that I can do a little bit better than the crappiest comedy on YouTube. That is so, thank you for believing me. That's why I'm here today. That's really, but my husband, he's the opposite though. He's got all the good mindsets. It's all about abundance and opportunities for growth. And that's obviously because he's an asshole who wants to prove what a loser and a failure I am. Last weekend, he was planning to get some work done at a cafe. Then he realized he needed to print something. So he ended up having to walk pretty far to work and just printing and working from there on a Sunday. And you'd think he'd complain like a decent human being, but no, he tells me it was probably for the best because he's been trying to drink less coffee. Ha ha ha. But what he's really saying is, see what a superior human I am, finding a way to look on the bright side. You'll never measure up, loser. When my brother and I were both in our teens, my parents realized how close they were to having both kids out of the house, with no one left to get in the way of enjoying each other's company. So they urgently had another child. And I was around 14 when my baby brother was born. Now, these were not the same parents who had raised me. My parents had mellowed with age, not unlike a fine, codependent Russian Jewish wine. So my little brother's experience growing up was a little different from ours. Like, for example, instead of using old, familiar tactics like shaming and yelling, my parents developed a revolutionary parenting strategy in which they just, consistently demonstrated love for my little brother. So he is now a thrice published poet studying at Yale University, while me and my brother have insomnia, no career prospects, and steady therapy bills. We both basically hate him for how he turned out. He's a big hit with the ladies. He's performed his poetry at Carnegie Hall and the White House. Yeah, he's like the real deal. And he can say, "Sure, Dad, I'd like to watch something together," and mean it. Can't do that. It's like he's hogging the entire mental health quota for the whole family. And my older brother is usually he's usually working a mix of 5 jobs that he keeps quitting and getting fired from. And I have never thrived in any job except for babysitting. This is one of the very few talents that I will own. Hi, Steve. Please help us. So this is one of the very few talents that I will own. One time, the 5-year-old boy whom I was babysitting asked to marry me, which I believe counts as a promotion in the field. That is my first and only promotion at age 8. But actually, a lot of people I know are struggling with anxiety and depression. I've heard that antidepressants are in the tap water now, just from people peeing them out. It's for real, I've heard this. But it's like, whoa, nice, like free antidepressants, just keep raising that concentration, my depressed friends. Like, we can all use some. I thought I'm gonna be different and quirky and get a coach instead of a therapist. Unlike therapy, coaching is totally unregulated, which means you can get double the experimental treatments for half the cost. I need that cost reduction because in the past 2 years, I've worked with a parenting coach, a health coach, and a relationship coach. Really sex coach, but whatever. And I suggest you get on the stand-up comedy coaching market quick because after today, I'm going to be hiring. But actually one day one of my coaches said, you should really see a therapist. So, she's probably right. I definitely am an anxious person. So I had 2 kids in order to pass that on.